Hey guys, welcome to the third episode of the Work Experience. I'm Yui, and today with me I have.
Tirza?
Joost.
And Ligia.
So welcome back, guys. I think we have a lot of things to cover today. So we can start with one of you. But before we start that, how are you guys doing?
Well, I've been good, busy, very busy. So the company that I had contact with, I sort of had a talk with and all, and I visited some of their like practice times, which was I noticed it was a bit unorganized and a lot of work can be done, and a lot of it wasn't really clear. Like for instance, what my purpose was there, but that will be sorted out at some point. But I'm making progress there. So.
Wow. So let me go back. Yeah. So you actually, like last week, we talked about how far you progressed already with being in touch with the organizations, and they provided you an opportunity. But from what I heard, you just got into action already with the company.
Yeah. So it's a small company. It's mainly like a student company, right? But they want to like expand and like move up a bit. There's this. So they play League of Legends, and there's like a Dutch tournament that they want to qualify for, and I think it's the highest Dutch one involves like football clubs like PSV, for instance. So big ones. That's what they want to move into, and they have games they have to play the coming weekends to qualify for that. And so I was visiting some of their practice times and to see if I could help them with sort of basic things to improve on. And I've not really been able to do that much yet. I was also mainly talking with the guy that's actually coaching them now, and just give him my cup of tea. But like a lot of it, I've not been able to put into practice yet. But it's the first steps. So.
Yeah,
that's great.
So
that's
good. Amazing. Like, oh my god.
Your shoulders.
Yeah. Can we? Yeah. Applause. Guys, can you think that when we started, you had a question how to start?
Yeah.
Right. How to start getting to the esports scene. And now you are there. How do you feel like doing or between the starting point and now? What are the feelings you have and your thoughts about it?
I mean, it's very different. Right? Like, I'm in like quite a different spot, honestly. I'm just quite happy that I have a starting point now, and I'm very down to earth about it as well, because, like I said, I noticed that a lot of things can be improved, and it was a bit chaotic, right? You can see that it's an organization that's like trying to start up. So on one side, I'm like, if it doesn't really work out that great, I will still just I'll be able to put it on my CV, and like it will count for something. And if not, like if it does go like great and better, and I can like input there, like then the better. So I'm very. I mean, I guess while saying that, I'm just more at ease with how it is now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I'm like open to like look for more things like that as well.
Okay, so to go back, what are your key takeaways then? Like what made this whole thing happen for you?
I mean, actually taking steps. That's
yeah.
That's the main thing. Just looking for opportunities, but actively looking for them, not passively. So I send out mails to people and send out messages to people, and I got a reply for that. I got rewarded for that bit of effort, and it wasn't even that much effort if you think about it. So like the key takeaway is like take steps, and they can pay off, and that's just what you have to do. You have to like go for those steps, and like I said, even if this doesn't work out, I'll just go through the whole process again, send more things out, look for more places, and
would you say like you are more confident and comfortable with it right now?
Honestly, I mean, I notice it while I'm talking about it now that I am just very comfortable with it now. Even for me personally, like especially, I always struggle with the first steps of things.
Yeah.
And then, but after like 10 minutes, like for instance, if I'm meeting a new person, like a new team or that new coach, maybe for the first like minute I'll be like nervous, but then after that it completely disappears from me as well. And I think that's also with these kind of things. So I'm just very at ease with it.
I think this is interesting because even though it looks so obvious and simple, take the first step, we still dream about the big break, something big that is going to happen, and the big company, the big job position, and the huge thing that you're going to do. But it's just doing something so small, so simple, and pays off.
It's just a start, right? Like obviously, a big break, great if that can happen. but I don't expect it to happen within like a month from now, like in a couple of years. Like that'd be great, you know.
Yeah, and it usually doesn't work like that. Like even if you take a look at someone and say, "Oh, this person had a huge opportunity," but actually it was just step by step, little by little. This person was building something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what you normally don't see. So I think maybe that's what gives people unreal or expectations of it.
Especially with all the social media out there right now,
Yeah, of
people
course.
only show like the high road or the success, but never the hard and dirty part of everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, although I think the last bit is way more interesting to like find out how people actually got there and also their struggles, because I think you can learn so much from other people. So I think taking the step and actually connecting to people, asking like, "Hey, how did you get there?" Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be proud of yourself, I think.
It actually relates to the challenge we had last week for everyone,
Yeah.
like to contact 3 different people and see whether there are opportunities to get something out of it. And from what I remember, many of you completed the challenge and had some kind of success. So maybe Tirza, you want to share something?
Yeah, so I had a chat this morning with someone from a school, which I've already been talking to a bit. And so I had this plan to organize workshops for children at secondary schools about like learning how to learn and planning. And today they said that I could actually do it.
Oh,
So
Wow.
yeah,
Can
how-
you give yourself
This
applause?
feels so weird to like give myself applause.
you deserve it.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's really good. And I also, because I still felt like, I think I still have to do like a bit more of the challenge. So I got in contact with someone and she recommended me this organization that does work for secondary schools where they help children who are usually like a bit behind in school or don't get like the same opportunities as other kids, to involve them more in society and like to create project with these kids so they can become like active members
Wow.
of society. And
Wow.
I asked like if I could have a chat tomorrow, and then the person said let's make a video call out of it. So yeah, tomorrow I've got another video call. And
Nice.
also like a long time ago I went to someone's online like a webinar, and she organizes workshops for secondary school students as well. And I found her number on LinkedIn and I thought let's just message her on WhatsApp, like pretty straightforward, asking if she has some time to call soon. And that also resulted in, I don't know when I'm going to call her, but she was open for it. So
Wow.
Nice.
So you are keeping
Yeah.
yourself busy.
So let's
Yeah.
just trace back a little bit just to make sure we got the story, because it was quite fast.
Mhm.
So
yeah, a lot happened this week.
so you sent an email to the person from the school, and then you had a meeting, and then now you're good to go. Is that right?
So I approached the person on LinkedIn, and he was like part of like the school directing thing. So he was like quite high up, and then he
Mhm.
knew like lots of other people. So he kind of like, it was a real life LinkedIn situation. So then I got to talk with actual teachers who are responsible for the project. And then last week, one woman, she told me, okay, I think I can maybe like arrange something for you, but I cannot promise anything. And then today she brought another teacher who's responsible for the kids that need some extra help. So yeah, I've got an appointment in July to see how that all goes, and then I can also kind of build up like my own
Amazing.
thing. So
Nice.
yeah,
So-
Fantastic.
So your patience and tenacity actually paid off. It was like many meetings, but now you got approval.
yeah, and I think it's also good to like have it in a few steps.
Yeah.
And be patient, like keep your ears and eyes open for opportunities. That's what I did, and it paid off. And I have to be honest, like earlier this week, I was thinking, I still have to complete the challenge, and I felt a bit self-conscious, like, should I message those people? Should I just email instead of call, or should I go for the easy way? But I'm glad that I asked, like, can I have a phone conversation? Because then, I
Sure.
think you can get more out of it than just emailing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one. We have been talking about it quite a lot, but sometimes it can be really difficult. So you had all these doubts, right?
Yeah,
So
and
how-
I still do sometimes.
Yeah, and
Pretty
that's fine.
normal.
That's fine. That's
Yeah.
just normal. But the thing is, how do you deal with the doubts? What is the thing that made you, okay, now I have to call?
Well, I didn't actually call, so I sent a message on WhatsApp to ask if I can call, but that's already
Okay. It's
already a
stuff.
thing, so they have time for me. That's kind of my logic behind it, so I don't call at an inconvenient time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what helped me, but mostly also thinking, okay, I'm probably gonna regret it if I don't do it. I just have to do it now, and just being very realistic with myself, like what's the worst thing that can happen? In the worst case, they say no. And then if you think, okay, what is the best thing that can happen? Well, you maybe get a job there, and if you kind of put them
Yeah.
on a scale and balance them out, then
Yeah.
I think it's pretty obvious which choice
Yeah.
can help you move forward. So I think
Yeah.
that is one of the things. And I think with the self-doubt, also kind of acknowledging them. So like not
Yeah.
trying to suppress them, but acknowledging, okay, I do feel a bit maybe self-conscious still about like my abilities in the field, and I don't really know what I'm good at yet, and I don't have a lot of experience. But then yeah, just accepting that it's normal and that you're here to learn and to grow as a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be too hard on yourself.
But I think it's
That's a
nice
good
that there is this metaphor. Like if you're really scared of crossing a bridge, to take the first step to cross the bridge, you put a angry pit bull behind you. You know? So like in your case, you're a little bit scared of calling, and then you send a message like, "Can I call you right now?" And then if the person answers, you have to call the person.
Yeah.
So it's really putting something.
Yeah.
But I feel like you're, well, not really pit bulls because you're really nice, but like you're kind of like a friendly human version of the pit bull behind my back when I have to step on the bridge. Because even though I know I do it for myself, it's always nice to be able to share with others that you book progress, and then other people being like, oh, you did such a great job, and then it just brings so many good things. So I think that was also it. Just if you have people around you that kind of keep you accountable and ask like, how is your progress going, then I think it's a lot better.
Yeah.
And you make more steps than when you do it by yourself, because now you have people asking how it is going, and then you like they remind you of what you have to do.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes give you that little push, like what is the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
Just go for it. So
Yeah. But what I like what you actually said, and I think we also covered outside of the the live stream about the affordable loss. So whenever you think about something, right? In your case, you were thinking about what is my affordable loss when I contact somebody. So in your case, you could get no answer, but what does it do to you? What actually do you lose by sending an email? So you think about,
nothing.
okay, if I don't lose anything else beside getting a rejection, feeling bad for a second, but the outcome could be that you get a job or an opportunity to work out something great. Then isn't it then obvious that you would choose for the other option? So I think it's important for everyone to think about, okay, what can you afford to lose? A bit of your ego, a bit of your time, but what is the outcome? And compare it to the outcome, and maybe that gives you a little, the push that you need to take the first step or the action.
I think we always we tend to explore the side of what can go wrong a lot more than the side what can go right. And I think it's really important to balance these things out, to not only think, okay, this can go wrong, but also, okay, realistically, what can go right. So for the people listening, I think asking yourself what can go right instead of what can go wrong is definitely a good step of
positivity,
step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you, like, so how do you feel about you having taken these steps?
Pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. So I feel it feels I just feel a lot more energized and ready to take on steps. And even though still in the back of my mind I'm sometimes still really scared of like, oh shit, now I have to actually do it and I have to do something great, but then also trying to remind yourself, okay, but this is the first time you're like I've had side jobs, but this is the first time doing something more serious. So you also need to allow yourself to develop and to not be hard on yourself.
Yeah, because all the experts, they start the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like also, I sometimes think of like when I had to learn how to ride a bike. If I would have given up straight away, I wouldn't be able to ride a bike right now. Or like same with walking. Imagine if kids would be like, "Oh, I just fell. I'm gonna stop with learning how to walk." That's
Because I'm afraid of falling again or getting hurt,
Yeah.
things like this, right?
yeah. Then you never
Yeah.
go forward.
How about you, Licia?
How about me? So I completed the challenge. I called 3 people.
Awesome.
Yay!
I'm loving this sound.
Loving
effect
this.
thing.
I don't know about you guys, but I am such a goal-oriented person. I really need those small goals. They work quite well for me.
Mhm.
I do it this 3 times, doing this for half an hour. It works so well, and I've done this every time I wanted to be productive. I set this goal, and if I can share with someone, I feel even more accountable for
Yeah.
it, and then
Yeah.
for sure I will do it, definitely. So I called 3 people. 2 of them, it was a big company, and I had the direct telephone number, but it went to the secretary, like the general person.
Aw.
And then the person said, "Oh, the person you want to talk to is busy, so let me say that you called," and the people never returned. And I'm still wondering if I should call them again or just go for the next on the list. But anyway, the third person I called, and it was funny because it was the third person. She answered and she said, "Oh, look, I'm busy right now, but I will definitely call you." And just by talking to the person,
Mm-hmm.
it was different.
Yeah.
So she returned my call, and well, I already told you guys that it's not my culture to, let's have a coffee.
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
it's weird for me. So yeah, I turned the conversation. I turned the conversation into a conversation, not like let's set a
Yeah.
meeting. It was a very nice and smooth conversation. We talked for quite a while. This is something nice when the person returns your call. The person has time,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah,
it was.
correct.
So she had time, and we were talking, and she said, "Oh, I strongly believe we can find something for you. So please send me your CV." Usually people send it to the general
Mhm.
HR email, but send it directly to me because now I know you. And this is something interesting, right? Just by talking on the phone with someone, just by this person listening to your voice is different than you putting your CV in the same pile.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. I
Wow.
sent right away my CV.
Yeah.
And I also sent, since we talked about it, this and that, I already have experience, and I would love to work with that, but I'm open to other things as well.
Perfect.
And let's see. And I also would like your suggestions, guys. Like, how long should I wait? Should I call it back if I don't hear from her anymore? What do you guys think?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I don't think there's like really a general rule.
No.
I think it really, it really depends on the person. But this is a bit difficult because you don't know that person that well yet, I would assume. Depends on how the 2 hours you spent together, how much info you got out of the person, what kind of life she's living, is she's really busy, and things like that. But you can always give a reminder with an email or something. If you wait for a week and you haven't heard anything from her, you can always send an email and, "Hey, I don't want to be rude, but I was just following up
checking.
if there's any news on your side. If so, please contact me and so we can have another conversation again."
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to be proactive to show that you really want it, but then not like if they didn't respond in the same day. Be like,
It's just finding the balance in that, right?
yeah,
And,
exactly. Just I think what Dewey said, wait a week and see if they called you back, and then say like, "Hey, I
Because
still want to have this chat because
Yeah.
I'm really passionate about this." And
Yeah, because honestly, I don't mind if the person says, "Look, I've looked for it and I couldn't find anything for you."
Exactly.
I prefer a no than
Yeah.
than crickets
Yeah.
there.
yeah, just waiting and not having control what's gonna happen, kind of.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And I think on the other side, people don't like to say no because they don't want to hurt our feelings.
Mhm.
But actually, it's worse to live us there on the
yeah,
completely agree.
waiting
Yeah.
part.
But the thing is, instead of waiting, you can still be proactive yourself by going out for other possible opportunities still, right? Correct?
Yeah, I think I feel a little bit more ready to set up a meeting, an offline
Good.
meeting.
Exactly.
I feel more prepared. for
So,
that.
so you say like at the beginning you were afraid of calling, you were in doubt, or it was something uncomfortable. Now you took the challenge, and you're saying you are ready to take the next step to actually set up offline meetings with people.
yeah.
Amazing.
Nice.
I can remember last time you saying that something was in the danger zone. How is that now?
It
Is
grew a
shifted
little bit.
Like your
yeah.
safer zone.
Yeah.
So your confidence have grown or has grown during this period. What changed?
I would say two things. So, first of all, my master program is flowing quite well. So, I'm feeling more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So, approaching the end, I'm having the feeling that I will make it.
Yeah.
So, I'm feeling a little bit better. Last few weeks, I was a little bit in doubt that I wouldn't finish in time, and things were stuck. So, I was feeling stuck as well. So, the program is flowing better. And also by calling people, by talking to someone, I don't know, I felt more comfortable. I thought that I was picturing this super monster and this super scary monster. And when I called the monster, I thought, okay, so it's not exactly that bad. I don't know, I felt good. It's just like, I don't know, you want to jump in the pool and then you put your feet there and say, it's not that cold.
Yeah.
I don't know, I had that feeling.
Yeah.
It's amazing, how things turned around so quickly for you as well.
Yes.
Yeah, because like if I think about it, at the beginning, I thought, I need like a job fair to find out what job would suit me, and maybe see what the opportunities are, and see where I can find like a good vacancy and to find a job that way. But looking back, I think the thing I needed the most was just a shift in mindset and a shift in how you approach these situations. So instead of waiting for it to come your way or waiting to see like a good job advert on LinkedIn, it goes a lot faster to take control yourself.
It's just from being reactive or like just passive to proactive.
Yeah, switching from passive to proactive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that definitely helped me the most, at least to.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, you can see with all three of us, right? We all took action and looked for it more, and we found things, and like whatever those things are, like it doesn't really matter, but at least we did find things.
It
right?
paid off for all of us. So I feel like if you're
Absolutely.
listening, I'm 99.9% sure that you will get at least something out of it, and even if it's not the thing that your big goal for the future, maybe it's already a small step in the right direction, or maybe just overcoming this fear that makes it easier to approach people in the future. I think that's already really valuable.
Yeah, I also think that, because if we take away the possible things that could be the outcomes from your your experience, for instance, or the journey, you have the skills now. You know what you need to do to get there, or at least get opportunities, because you already done it. You've done it, and you are still waiting for that opportunity. But you took action and overcame your doubts and fears and things that were holding you back. So I think it's already a big change, even though, let's say, you might not get anything out of the opportunities, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think today, addition to the journeys of each of you, we could address some of the questions from the TDC masters. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And maybe we can brainstorm together, because what we don't like to do here is to give people straight answers what they should be doing, but we want to stimulate a conversation so everybody can think themselves how they can approach certain things and approach creating their own work experience. And we have a worksheet. I will put it on. And maybe you can work with this worksheet here. So this is what we've been using throughout these live streams. So we have the design thinking method, and we start with empathy. So really asking insights, the questions to know the people we are working with, or the people who have a problem and want to and we want to create solutions for them. And then we define the questions or the problems, and then we brainstorm together to find different ways how we can approach that problem. And then we often prototype. In Tirsa's case, is prototyping workshops. Joost is prototyping how to structure the coaching system for the esports organization, for instance. And then they will test it and get the feedback, and then iterate and make the solution better. And this is what we are trying to install in each of you to think like this, and maybe start designing your own work experience in this way.
Yeah.
So you can download it. It's already, if you are not yet in LinkedIn community, you can join our LinkedIn community, and there you can download the worksheet, or you can just follow in this live stream now. So Joost, the first question, we can maybe have some kind of
So the main question was like, how does one get involved in the work scene they're interested in? Which is a very general question, but I think maybe we could still use the
So
design
how do
thinking
you
on it.
start? Like if you
So-
think I want to do this.
So in your case, how what would you say? Because you wanted to be involved in esports scene and you didn't know how.
Yeah.
So walk through your process. Maybe they get something out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, my process was basically, let me, you still have the design? Yeah, okay. So,
Just in few short steps. What steps did you take, and did you go back between the steps and
Yeah,
iterate?
I think the first step for me was, well, I mean, I guess the very first step was thinking, hey, I want to go into esports, right? That was the first step. Then it came to identifying what specifically in the esports scene I wanted to get myself involved in. Then I looked at the things that I've learned that I can bring to the scene. So the things I learned from the studies, but also from my own experience with like the games and having coached people in a very informal way. So that was just mainly the steps of identifying sort of what I want, and then afterwards it's identifying how to get there. So then it started with basically what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, seeing where can I get in contact with people. So looking on Twitter for people that are coaching, sending those people messages, looking, on like online, just Googling for esports organizations in the Netherlands, sending those messages, and so on. And then also the other thing, how could I advertise myself in another way? So the two being the just contacting organizations and Twitter, and then a YouTube channel. That was the other one. And then from having generated those ideas of how to do it, I tried those things. So I made a message. I sent that message to a lot of people. I sent like an email to a couple organizations, and I thought of some things for the YouTube channel. And then in the cycle where we tested it and we went back to like reflect on it, I noticed that I could improve the Twitter one, for instance, by making it more personal. And so I think for me that's pretty much been the process using this design thinking method.
Yeah. So key takeaways that I can think of is like thinking about your own core qualities. Okay, what are your strengths? What have you learned, and what you would like to be using to help organizations? In your case, you're trying to solve a coaching problem, or and helping players to have the tools that they can work with to improve the gameplays as well. Correct?
Yeah, that was my sort of initial idea, and like at the sort of organization that I am working with now, that has changed a bit, but very much within my comfort zone and what I wanted to. So
exactly,
it's more about structuring their approach and making their methods more practically usable, because a lot of they got a lot of like files and like sheets and plans from external companies, but they were very. I read through them, and they were just very, very impractical, and it was very theoretical, and massive forms that people had to fill in for every situation, and it didn't really fit with them. So
Yeah, and the other thing is that once you recognize what you could do with what you've learned in the TDC Masters, connect with your passion, you contacted people in the industry you want to work with. You got insights, you use those insights to create your own, or start creating your YouTube channel to get recognition, or start your own brand in some ways. Before you could actually even do this YouTube channel, you got response back to your email, which provided you this opportunity, and you got the first experience already inside the organization. So that has been your process, right? So the key takeaway is actually to talk with people. Okay, how do I get to the scene? Yeah. If your question is that, you just ask that simply with the people who are already in the industry. Yeah. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. And
right?
It sounds really, it's actually really simple.
I think it's kind of similar for all of us. It's just like approach the person or the people that you need, or people that could help you. But that's usually the part, I think, where people get a bit scared of all the, of what might go wrong.
Yeah.
So, but then, it's just that simple, actually. It's, you just have to get yourself out there. Ask the right people, and sometimes it's also a bit of luck, I think, if it's just like the right timing, or
No, but I completely agree. It's just taking the steps and talking to the right people. So like you identify which people you have to contact. Well, you identify what information you need, and then you find the people or the places that can provide you with this information, and that's what we did.
And I think also if you look at people, what I did is already look at people. Okay, do I already have someone in my network, or someone I know, or know via someone else? Because I think if people already kind of know you, they are more willing to help you.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
sure.
So that's what I did with like the person from the school, because I thought, I think he still might remember me. And then I was really lucky that the teacher from the other school happened to be a former dance teacher of mine. So then, it's just a bit of luck, but also getting yourself out there.
And I think with
I have an interesting story about this, that my mom was doing several exams, so she was going quite often to the doctor, and my sister-in-law was looking for a job. She was a physiotherapist, and my mom said, why don't you go with me to the next exam, and then you give him your CV in his hands. And he said later on, she worked there for many years, she was hired, and the doctor said, just by looking at you, I put your CV on the top of the pile. Just by, like, you gave your CV in my hands, it was all that I needed to choose who I was going to
But that's
hire.
what you did as well, right? Like you called that person and they said, hey, we get a lot of CVs to this general email, but just send yours directly to me and I'll have a look at it. So that basically put yours on. We don't know if it's the exact top of the top, but at least it put them in a select group that maybe actually gets looked at, right?
Exactly.
I think if you're proactive, you get some sort of like special treatment.
No, but this is exactly what we talked about. Like, okay, I've been sending, or I hear people, I've been sending 15, 20 CVs, and I don't really get responses. Well, how about trying to think ways how you could differentiate yourselves from the other 19 who also sent the application? And one of the ways, like Licia literally just gave away, is that walk into a company, talk with someone, hand in the CV, or pick up your phone and then maybe have a conversation that could lead to something. So those are the things that can already make the difference, how you can differentiate yourself from the other applicants. But maybe there are other ways you can try out as well. Maybe, start your own YouTube channel, or other ways, or go to, I don't know, forums, Reddit, try to find people there and talk to them or connect with them. There are many ways to go about it nowadays with all the social media platforms as well.
Yeah, and I think when the example you gave for people, they say, hey, I sent like 20 CVs and I'm not really getting responses. If you use the design thinking, you have tested your you made your prototype I guess by just sending the CVs, and you've tested it and it doesn't seem to be working, so
Don't
you can go
continue
back.
doing
Yeah,
it.
exactly,
Go
right?
back and you can
Yeah.
try to change your approach. And
Yeah, and you can do this by sending it to people who you know work in the HR department. Maybe they can help you review. Okay, what are the things you could improve?
Yeah.
And I want to bring a story. My younger cousin in Finland, he was actually looking to get a job. Right, he was almost graduating as an engineer, and he told me I've sent like 12 emails and CVs. So far, I got only one response and one interview so far, and I was like, okay, send me the CV and the motivation letter.
Yeah.
And he sent me then, and I was like, okay, did you send the same kind of motivation letter to all the other companies as well? He said, yes. I was like, okay, ask him, okay, do you think they can feel that you use the same motivation letter for when you send them to them? Send it to them. And he said, yeah, actually, maybe. I was like, can you change it? He was like, yeah, but I don't know how. And then we brainstormed a bit, and I gave him some tips. He used the insights because he tested it with me how it would work. I said, like, these are the things, if I would hire somebody, I would like to know. So he actually went and changed things after our discussion. He sent one email, one letter, one CV to this company, and 2 days from there, he got an interview. He didn't get the job, but at least he got an interview, an opportunity. He got into the final stage, but he couldn't pass the engineer exam in the points that they actually required, so he wasn't selected. But at least he got, a chance to prove himself.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes what we need, only a chance to prove ourselves.
Yeah, and I think that already gave him more experience with actual job interviews. Like, even though he didn't get it, it is still nice.
Exactly, and now he
Access
already
it.
landed a job without testing any of the motivation letters or CVs with me. So, yeah, maybe he learned something. Maybe not to send the same motivation letter for every company he's applying for. Could be, yeah.
I think the same was with you.
Yeah,
Like, I see you just like nodding a bit. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
but
The story repeats.
yeah, hey, you live and learn.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's completely normal.
Yeah.
To just send it, because it's already a bit scary sometimes to send this letter to one
Yeah.
person, and it's just easy to click, 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 click.
But now looking back, we think we want to be treated differently. So we have to act differently,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
This could be like on a tile, like a little
Yeah.
quote.
Didn't-
Have
didn't-
it framed.
There's already a quote from Einstein. Isn't it madness to expect different results but doing the same thing over and over again?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the next topic I think was really, really out there was how to start creating a business, right?
Yeah.
With coaching, because with TDC Masters you can become, or there are people who have become coaches.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, in our masters, I
So
think quite a lot.
Some from the organizational masters track as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about it. If it were you, so you would like to become a coach. Let's just ideate together and think about it. If you were to become a coach and you want to start a business, how would you go about it?
Well, I think I feel my story is a bit similar, because I want to give workshops myself and maybe do something myself with that. So I think a step is to talk to someone who already walked this path and ask how they did that, because then you get some inside stories. They might tell you their obstacles and the things they've learned. And I think if you have those stories, it's a lot easier that you don't have to make the same mistakes all over again. So yeah, I think talking to someone who already did it, or someone who inspires you, I think that can really help.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know if I said that here in the podcast, but I actually am a coach already. In Brazil, what I did was, from the moment that I graduated, I found a woman that I admired. She was a coach already, and I asked if I could work with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she said, yeah, so I can send you some clients, you pay me like a fee or something, and then we can have this partnership.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I was just like a pupil looking at everything that she was doing and understanding how the process was. And then at one point I felt mature and good enough to open my own office. And so I still have clients here in the Netherlands
Awesome.
from
Awesome.
Brazil. Yeah. It's so nice when you feel that you do a good job, people recommend to other people.
Yeah.
And the cycle is forever. It came to a point that I didn't need to advertise myself anymore because it was just a flowing process. Yeah.
Nice.
Like, oh, now you need to coach my son. Oh, now you need to coach my husband. Oh, now you need to coach my brother. And then it was just like that. And it was really good. And when I arrived here, I don't know, we attract this kind of stuff. And this is exactly what happened to me, Tirza. I was giving workshops and courses, and the students, they really start admiring you and they want some individual help. And this is what is happening with me here as well. So I have clients here and in Brazil because of that. So you could either start with someone that you admire, just can I stay here? Can I learn a little bit? Or you can start by giving workshops and stay in this position of helping, giving knowledge and sharing things.
I was thinking maybe for our listeners, if people are interested in coaching, they can always shoot a message to Lydia.
Of course,
and I think you can share your knowledge with them. I think that's the most important thing, just sharing knowledge and experiences, because it helps. It's usually a win-win situation.
Yeah, this is the thing in the design thinking process of empathy. For me, it's really clear that I want to create a positive impact in the world. So I really would love to have a job that I can feel that I'm doing, that I'm impacting people.
Mm-hmm.
I know I had this insight and I wrote it over there, this thing that is what I'm looking for. So it's quite easy for me to know what I want and what I don't want when I see a job description, because I just follow this.
Yeah.
Don't want like money, status, and all that stuff.
Power.
Power.
It doesn't.
Exactly. And there's like this is one good example, and I totally agree with you. Talking to someone who already walked a path can really yield good results. But also, if you feel like you're a bit more of a loner, or you want to do things by yourself, build everything by yourself, there's many ways to go about it. Like if we look at the design thinking method and the sheet, you can see in the empathy phase, okay, if you have an idea, right? You can go out there. Let's say you can just walk outside, go to your neighborhood, go around, talk to people, and ask them, okay, how do you feel? Would this add value to your life? And asking different people to see what are the responses, what are the things that they have as a problem. Because in the end, when you create a business, I think is most often or businesses are most often successful when you try to solve a problem, right? Yeah. So using the empathy phase to understand the possible end users of your product or service could give you some ideas to what direction in coaching you could go with, for instance. Yeah. And this empathy phase helps you understand the problem so you can create those ideas. So for instance, if you talk to people and people say like, hey, at work I have a lot of burnouts and I don't know how to manage all the stress and everything, then maybe coaching how to manage how to de-stress yourself, how to become more mindful, and these sort of things can help solve their problems. And then you start prototyping. You ask few people to join your workshop or the sessions you have one-on-one, and then ask for feedback. Okay, what do you feel like? What I could do better? What are the things that you liked and what are the things you are not liking? And then you take that insight, you improve your prototype again, and then you ask different people and test it again as many times as you feel like, okay, now I have a cool thing and a lot of people already validate this. It's nice. Yeah. And then you can then look for the places you need to go register, to have your company name, have a bank account, and you do all the research what you need to before you set your own office and everything, and then you just get clients, for instance.
And I think that's the important thing to note with the design thinking method as well. You don't need to have a finished product to start off with, like at all. You can come up with an idea, and you test it and you keep improving it and you keep going through the steps. Like, does this hit like that? Does this target what I wanna? What I wanna target? Does this, do the thing I wanted to do? And you keep changing it, and at some point you will end up with an improved product, not a perfect product, but an improved one.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's the most important, because I feel like a lot of times people think, oh, I want to have something perfect from the start, but then that's just not realistic, and then people often wait for the right opportunity or when they feel 100% ready to do it, but I feel like that moment often doesn't really exist. Like, you have to start somewhere, even though you find it scary and you don't know where to start, and even if you don't have the perfect thing yet, but with input from the other people.
Rome wasn't built in a day. I think one translates as
and I mean, like, you don't need to have business once you have like the perfect idea or perfect product. You can just start off with a semi-good product and service, and you just keep improving based on the feedback that you get from the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Feedback's important.
That's and listening to the people you are giving the coaching or whatever service product you want to serve them with.
Yeah.
Really listening and observing. Yeah. Oh, so that is our episode, guys. Unless you guys have something else to add. Next time we can address more questions or more topics from the TDC Masters as well.
Other people.
Yeah, from other people. And this afternoon we have the walk-in session at 2, and we already have 4 people coming in. Next week we're going to have also a walk-in session, and we don't have people sign up for that yet. So we will be informing you through socials. So walk-in session is basically having you guys over here to discuss your questions, your struggles, your challenges, and we can, just talk and see, and maybe we can inspire you to think differently and approach things differently, so that you can get the job that you want or create the business that you want. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time as well.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.